Okay, yeah, it's time for us to start, guys. Let us start with this thing right there. I don't want to be keeping you guys long, although I know, you guys like hearing my voice. But of course, there was a circumstance that took place yesterday, guys, that I must make mention of. Of course, that is very interesting what has happened in the United States right there. Attempt was made on Trump, brothers and sisters. And of course, I'm gonna bring you guys. Yo, you guys know me. I have angles, so we're gonna go through this. This is actually on dailymail.co.uk. This is the first one that I actually saw that brought this up right there. Let me. Hopefully, the screen is. Let me see. Are you guys even seeing the screen? Let me see. You guys probably not seeing the screen. So let me bring the screen up. Yes, guys. Yep. Okay. So yeah, okay, it looks good. So guys, this is the video of Trump getting
really
pelleted.
That said, take a look at what happened.
That was very interesting right there, guys. I'm not gonna lie. What? Oh, okay. Yes, man. So this was kind of an interesting time where, of course, a number of persons knew that something like this was going to happen, man. Let me bring it back a little bit so you guys can actually
really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Just like that, just like that, I tell you. I know a number of persons might not be supporters of Trump, but I mean, come on. That is going a bit too far. What do you think? I think that is going a bit too far, guys.
Hold. When you're ready, on you. Ready. Move. Move. Go.
These are the Secret Service individuals. Fellas with their ammo, their pellets, man.
Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move? Let's move. We're clear.
No, a number of persons were asking me, is he alive, man? Well, then again, I do have to admit that when I posted the video, it only showed half. So this is why I'm showing the full thing for individuals to see right there. Now in this one, I'm gonna give you different angles so you can get the bigger picture of what's going on or what went on. I know some of you guys probably saw it. This is when he stood back up again, but he was definitely tagged, brothers and sisters. And persons, there was a video I saw of persons saying, but Mr. Lex, why they hugging the man for? Why they hugging the man for? It's not a family matter moment that they protecting the man. He just got pelleted. You can see the little stuff on him right there. I think it's some cuss what he said there. Okay, not some cuss words. But yeah, guys, so he got pelleted. A number of persons, myself, guys, if I just people in the crowd, I run in here. What? Gasa, they pelleting and I there watching. I is a spectator now. USA. So this, I think this is the fullest video that I saw in that regard right there. So they took him out. Then he sent a message saying he's okay and what have you. Now it's interesting that he might have gotten shot multiple times, guys. And it seems like he maybe is wearing a bulletproof vest. And the reason I'm saying this, you'll see this in a moment. So this is what happened yesterday, guys. Of course, you saw him when he was rolling out. People were around him. And you seeing him with his fist in his sky, knowing how Trump behaves, brothers and sisters, you cannot just pellet the man and think the man going to stop. The man don't afraid nobody. The man going to continue doing what he does, man. Of course, we know that, let me see what individuals I believe getting since only one young man was responsible. Yeah. A young man was definitely responsible for that. Or maybe it was I know a number of persons have been saying that was like a publicity stunt of sorts. Why would that be a publicity stunt? I'm not, don't get me wrong, it kind of makes sense. When I saw it the first time, I was like, that is definitely something that is happening in the United States. Maybe for ratings. But I'm like, why would he want himself to be shot? Suppose he missed, suppose something else happened, suppose the person missed, you know, these kind of things there. But my question is, how did the individual get on the stage, man? Not on the stage now. How did the individual reach where he reached? Oh, this was Trump when he went down, his ears and stuff is, you know, I haven't had this thing posted up, guys, and I wanted to see what a number of persons will say. Let me refresh this thing. Maybe it has no comments and what have you. Let me see. Also, a number of crying. They don't know. This made him win the election. I think that's what a number of persons were saying right there. That situation cemented his stuff. Cemented his win. I personally thought that it was the other side trying to do that, but then we realized that was not the case. When you ask the right question, seems pretty sus. Just another distraction. Could be. Is it real? Did they actually try to? Well, yeah, they actually did try to, you know. This is the other angle, brothers and sisters. Actually, there are snipers all over the place. I was like always wondering, why is he out in the road knowing that there's a possibility that individuals could try to do him harm? And then I'm seeing this angle of snipers and stuff on top of the roof.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
So that's the amount of stuff that was going on right there. Anyways, guys, so this is the young man that managed to get there. Now, when I saw this for the first time, guys, I'm thinking, if this young man can come there and do this, much less for trained individuals. But I'm guessing they don't expect individuals like this man to come and do this kind of magic. They would expect more trained individuals. A number of persons were saying it was long-range sniping that took place. But that wasn't the case. It was actually within the range right there. That's why you saw these individuals on the roof, you know, doing what they do best.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see
these
something
guys
that
are just,
said, take a look at what happened.
Yeah, he didn't have a chance now. He didn't have a chance in hell, brothers and sisters. So this was him down there after the caller came from that angle. He's down. They met with him. And then, you know, this was a more close-up shot right there. So they were not playing no games in that regard. Individuals were making memes and saying, shooter must be Bronny James, the way he went. What if he clipped his ears instead of going directly to that his stuff? Don't get me wrong, you know, guys, I'm not for people pelleting people. This is not John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King and this kind of things there. You know, trained people actually did the job. But when it comes on to that circumstance, right there was this young man right there, Justin, the 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, has been identified as the pelleter from the Trump rally. A number of persons were saying that he was wearing a bulletproof vest. This actually looked like a bullet wound, brothers and sisters. But of course, if he's wearing a bulletproof jacket, then, you know, that would not go there. But I was thinking, when people wear this kind of stuff, what about your head? Are you going to be wearing a bulletproof a mask or something, you know, for you to look? It's not too far-fetched to say this, guys. Don't put nothing past these people. Nah, I'm not putting KB Lyrics is saying don't put nothing past these people. I'm not putting anything past these people. This is the United States of America, man. These people can do all sorts of crazy stuff right there. He wasn't cussing. He was saying, what? Fight. Fight. Oh, let me see. Let me see if that's what he was saying.
If you want to really see something.
Oh, he was telling him, wait. You sure? You sure it's fight he was saying? Well, you know, sometimes lip reading is not always all best. Yeah, he was saying fight. Okay, well, if he's saying fight, then yeah, the fight must go on, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. The fight must go on. There's other, yeah, so that this guy was the one we seen on the ground right there. He come in just on normal clothes, man. Like, and I don't know if he was hiding in the trees. We can't really tell the distance he was, but he was definitely in that area. right there. And this is, of course, these people are saying that there was a pelleted wound in there as well. Anyways, guys, there's also a video I saw. Let me see. An AR-50. I don't know. This is, man. They're gonna be using this as another recover at the scene. That did not, guys, honestly, that did not sound like an AR-15 eh? For real. Or maybe I don't know what an AR-15 is, but it didn't sound like one right there. Crooks was spotted, apparently pelleted. Them guys that holy boy, you know. Them guys that holy boy. You know, making no joke. But he was collected one time. And of course, this was when they removed the shooter.
You're trying to figure out if you're okay, what's going on, was he shot, was he wounded? Then we heard him on the microphone, Shannon, saying, let me grab my shoes as they tried to take him off. So
seems like he had this kind of this the red flags with the stars, the blue line, like the X with the white stars and the blue with the red thing. I forget what they call in that. If you guys know, let me know that in the comment box below. Ozilla, big up yourself. Big up. One time. Brother, man, let us focus on what is taking place in Dominica. Yo, let me tell you something now. What happened in America happens to Dominica, you know. If America has a terrible president, it's going to reflect back on Dominica. So we cannot just say, oh, let us just focus on Dominica. We have to look at the root of things. Everything goes back to the, thanks, KB Lyric, the Confederate flag. It looked like he had that on him right there. This, you see, yeah, he definitely had it right there. So I don't know what this brother was thinking of, but we'll get to the situation right there. Individuals were even making little kicks on that.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Mr. President, I got some old ketchup in my pocket. Oh, yeah, he did that. Never. Hold on, let me taste it. Where you get that from?
So human being something else.
We gotta celebrate this. You got that ketchup for her? Yeah, put your fist up.
God, them people come out, man. Anyways, let's continue right there, brothers and sisters. So of course we are back to that right there. I remember back in the day, Scared was talking about hold on. Maybe he's part of the clan. No, okay, maybe. He wasn't. Yeah. Anyways, I remember when Scared was talking about leadership is everything, man. Scared. Remember your favorite prime minister? I love my PM. Yeah. Scared was saying leadership is everything, guys, and this is one of the things Scared had to say back in the day and how he is at present.
The leadership that I'll provide to Dominica is one of inclusion.
Now, guys, before I continue, I want to bring it back. Now, listen to what the Prime Minister is saying, and can we apply this to present-day reality?
The leadership that I'll provide to Dominica is one of inclusion. Dominica is not who's scared Dominica.
So, is the leadership that is providing one of inclusion, where the people are aware of what is going on? I think we have one of the most secretive prime ministers in the world. In the world, guys, because all of a sudden we and the prime minister go place and all this kind of things there. We don't know. We just hear and he go place and, you know, he don't care about the people and, you know, but he talking about inclusion. Really, it's always nice to hear people say nice things, you know, guys. Don't get me wrong.
I'll provide to Dominica is one of inclusion. Dominica is not who's scared Dominica.
Does the prime minister, do they really believe what he was saying? Or was this all tricks to make the people fall for him? One of inclusion, I'm going to be doing something great for you guys. This is not Roosevelt's Carrot's country. This is Dominica's country. We are all one. We are unified in the effort of doing better for Dominica. Make Dominica great again.
But it is Dominicans Dominica.
Can we really say Dominica, that Dominica at present is Dominica's Dominica? Guys, let me know what you guys have to say in that regard. Definitely not. Scared is clearly a dictator. Boy, the PM had big a long time. Well, you imagine. Yeah, he was saying, okay. So that's what number you guys are saying right there. Yes, I don't know, man. I don't know. Pray for Dominica. Anyways, 2,000 years later, brothers and sisters. 20 years later, because 2004 he came in. We're in 2024, so 20 years later.
Years later.
I run things in Dominica.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that, brothers and sisters? It's really something else. But of course, we have the legend himself. Timal is in the building, guys. What does Timal have to tell us when it comes down to leadership?
So now, I would like labor rights to know that a good government is a government that promises much and produces much.
I was going to ask him, is it just promising much? I mean, there's a number of persons that tend to promise a lot of things, but they don't meet they don't meet it with actions. They just want to say nice things. And I think that is what is happening in Dominica. They are just saying nice things to people. Then the very prime minister is coming to say, these are not pie in the sky promises, when it's clearly pie in the sky promises, because it's nice things that they're saying to the people. Brothers and sisters, I always ask that question, and I always say, give me one thing. I would really like to have some of them parliamentarians here. I really would like to have them here, brothers and sisters. I know most of them would not show up, but we'll have to see how we can start. Maybe I can bring a laborite inside there or something for me to talk to him and ask him or her and ask them about what they think of Dominica. But, you know, I've reached out to a number of persons. Don't get me wrong, you know. I've reached out to a number of persons, and they don't. People, why are people scared of me? I don't get it. I'm just, if you know what you believe in, brothers and sisters, if you know what you believe in, right, and you believe that your government of choice is the best for the country, wouldn't you want to defend that? Wouldn't you want to say, Mr. Leaks, I think you are wrong in that regard. Maybe you are delusional in certain efforts. I want to say, okay, this is what I think. This is how I feel about the present state of affairs in Dominica. But instead, a number of persons, look, another person scared. This is clearly a dictator. You know, so that is always an interesting part when you look at how things are going in Dominica, and people who make the claim that as if, you know, the government is the best choice when they know themselves. I stated this in the last reaction, I think, or the one before. I stated laborites are the ones trying to leave Dominica. Laborites, you see, I talked to a number of UWP people, UWP and even Freedomite people, those who remain, some of them, they want to stay to help develop Dominica. I've asked individuals from overseas who tend to come back from time to time. They come back and they try their best to see if they can help with schools around the island and this kind of things. Yes, there are a number of them. And I've been asking, you know, why do you do this? They want to see Dominica doing better. But it seems like the laborites in Dominica are the ones who really want to leave. There's a number of laborites I actually met overseas, and these people just don't want to come back to Dominica at all. Anyways, let's continue with Tima.
As they promise. A bad government is a government that promises much but produces little or nothing.
No, true. That's facts.
Like Labour, boy. I'm to all you, Timal. I'm to all you Labour, right? Are you the scene? Huh? Promising much but producing little or nothing.
Nothing at all.
Labour Party.
The question here is, what has the Labour Party done to elevate the standing of the people? Can any of you guys help me out in understanding this? What has Laborites or Dominica Labour Party done to elevate the standing of the people? And I'm not talking about building road. Road is nice, great, wonderful. Even though right now the road is in a kind of condition there, brothers and sisters. You guys know, when you saw me on that vlog going to St. Kitts, you guys saw me on that vlog. What has the government done to elevate the standing of the people? That is all. As me as a classic liberal, brothers and sisters, keep in mind, I am not a liberal, okay? I will never be a liberal. I am not that insane, okay? I am all in on the conservative side, but I am a classic liberal, and we understand the plight of the people and the elevation of the people. When I look at Dominica and I'm looking to see how are the people elevating, all I'm seeing is the people begging. The people begging to see if they can get a job. The people begging to see if they can keep a job that is not paying them good. Can you imagine? Can you, boy? Can you imagine people are fighting to keep a job that does not pay them well? Because if they don't have that job, they know the economy is not doing well. Therefore, they know they will not be doing well, even if they're getting breadcrumbs, brothers and sisters. That breadcrumbs are supposed to disappear. What has the government done to elevate anybody in Dominica? Put programs in place that can actually elevate. And one of the things I was listening to Thompson Fountain when he was speaking to me, he was talking about utilizing the NEP program as a building block. Something like TEDVOC. Remember when I was talking about TEDVOC, those of you guys who saw that podcast right there, when I was speaking to Thompson Fountain, and he's talking about bringing back TEDVOC in a sense, or using NEP as a training ground for individuals. That is what is missing in Dominica. So when you train these individuals, you get to send them out. You can say, okay, we have a 1-year contract with you. You work with us. We pay you this amount. And we send you to different places out there. Another thing individuals can do is utilizing the prisons. I think there's a part, I saw the video yesterday, and it was in a country where they actually utilize all the prisoners to do what people are doing in NEP. Or what NEP should be doing, so to speak. So in other words, they bring the prisoners build the roads, they fix different things across the place, they put plans up. If there's projects that they need help with, they put the prisoners, and maybe in a sense, when the prisoners do these things, they also reduce their time to motivate the prisoners to come to actually help. Now, when it comes down to Dominican prisoners, what I see they do a little thing they do in the other day to make it seem as if that is a program they're running for the longest time. First time we see prisoners out there trying to what they're doing, plaster in the wall or something of that sort. Really? Anyways, so at least it's a start. Let me not put it down. At least it's a start. Well, I say start because I've never seen them do these kind of things before. But utilizing the prisoners, going out there doing projects that can actually help the country. If we need somebody to build factories, utilize the prisoners so they can be constructive individuals in society there and feel like they are giving back. They can pay their dues. I think that is a good way of doing it because I've seen other countries doing it. They dress them up in yellow clothes and they go out there walking through the streets and stuff, and they're doing things in the place. Elevating Dominica, things we can actually do in Dominica. And it can also be a deterrent as well, because if people know it's hard work they're going to be doing when they go prison, it's not just sit down there and eat pig and rice or whatever they're giving them, corned beef and flour, whatever that is. I don't know what they're giving them in prison. I must go prison for breakfast and see what they're giving them. But anyways, it's not just sitting down and doing nothing. But if they know they have to work hard and do a number of things for them to, reduce their times, I think that is also helping society. Because it increases their skill sets. It also creates, things in society. Society gets certain things done. Instead of us having to go and be paying how much money to people overseas, Chinese or where they come out, Middle East, all those kind of places there. We can actually utilize these people to do things. Create TEDVOC, use the NEP as a building block so people can better themselves, have certain skill sets. When I was growing up, brothers and sisters, a number of persons tend to ask me, Mr. Lex, what can you not do? What can you not do? Brothers and sisters, I grew up with a father that ensured that we knew how to do everything. Plumbing, electricals, just name it, cementing, all kind of things, brothers and sisters. We grew up knowing how to do all kind of things. Farming, bruh. If I tell you about, we used to export stuff. Boy, putting fertilizer on bananas and growing cotton. Some people sometimes believe because of the way you raise up, you don't know how to do nothing. Brothers and sisters, there is nothing on this planet that I don't know how to do. Certain things that I know, keep in mind, I'm talking about the basics. But I think if we implement that in society, society will be a better place. Am I wrong, guys? 500 hours of community service for who, the prisoners, or for the NEP workers? Ernst Philip, yeah, you still there, man. You still there. But I'm locked in. Big up Ernst Philip one time. Lord knows I tired. I have a business home, so I'm not asking. I know. Yeah. Brothers and sisters, sometimes setting up a business in Dominica is the biggest mistake you can do. Because like I was mentioned, it's not just saying, we have business and government say you're going to set up for entrepreneurs. Even people from overseas who came to Dominica to try to set up businesses was not successful. making all their monies trying to come and do, and they have hardship trying to get through. I remember the government was talking about individuals will be flocking back to Dominica. One of the businessmen reminded me of that. He from Canada wanted to come and do something. He said, Prime Minister said business people will be flocking back to Dominica because they want to do things. And when these people flocking back to Dominica now, what happening? The governments have given them a ring wrong. 8 banks have was giving them a ring wrong. What kind of thing was happening? So the people, they have business plans, all those kind of things they set up, and they just had to squash it. Some of them actually spent a set of money in Dominica, and it was just a waste. So when it comes down to this kind of circumstance, brothers and sisters, we have to realize that it's not just saying, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. It has to be based off actual viability, the value within the community, and the value the community can provide, or the economy can provide. Dominica economy not doing well. The place is not, Dominica Vibes is saying the place is not business friendly. Yeah, that's true. The place is not business friendly. Unfortunately, you guys, you think it's bad I want to be saying about it. I grew up as a little boy looking at different things. I was a very smart little youth, you know. But I used to look at different things and I used to feel confident in Dominica. Confident. And I'm looking at Dominica now and I'm telling people that they need to leave if they want to make it in life. I always had this kind of thing showing where you have the hourglass and you have the young person's face and the old person's face. Brothers and sisters, you know in life, you only have about 25 to 30 years of youth. Give or take between 30 to 40, that's when your youth is leaving. Real youth I'm talking about here. Some people want to say, oh, they're 60 years and they're young. No, you're not young. You're old. But your real youth is pretty much leaving you between 30 and 40. Let's say extend to 45. And after 45 is just, you know, you have more time being old than young. The question is, when your energy is depleting from you and you're trying your best to see if you can do something in the country, you're wasting time. This is one of the reasons why I always tell people they need to leave. You have your youth, leave. When you leave and you make yourself, then you can contribute back to Dominica if that is the case, or bring your family members with you. It's unfortunate, but that is the case. Customs, yes. Customs service a devil. The devil himself, brothers and sisters, is customs. The Antichrist is in the customs of Dominica. Hey, let me see. Dominica is beautiful and full of resources. Yes, that's one of the reasons why Ross came to Dominica, because of the beauty. When Mr. Ross saw the sunset of Dominica, he said he had to bring more people to come in. Unfortunately, Ross leave. Ross left Dominica. Oh boy. I don't think people fully understood that. And the very landlords themselves, with the manipulation of the government individuals, wanted people to sign paper so they can take Ross to court. Anyways, brothers and sisters, this is not why we're really here. I'm just showing the whole leadership thing. But let us find out what true leadership from none other than the late Mr. Miles Monroe. Dr. Miles Monroe, guys. Take a listen to what he has to say in that regard.
True leadership is not about trying to find people to follow you.
Now, guys, keep that in mind. You see, I love that man. Right? You see that man you seen, that is a woman, but you see that man you seen right there, brothers and sisters. That man is full of wisdom. It's just unfortunate that he had to pass away and that wisdom could not heal us. When they say good people die, it's true, but he's still alive. So he's still alive. Let's keep it that way. Let's keep it that. Anyway, brothers and sisters, take a listen carefully to what this man is saying right there.
True leadership is not about trying to find people to follow you.
Isn't that what the government is doing right now? When I listen to different people talking politics, this is one of the reasons why I side the way I side, you know, brothers and sisters. Because it seems like when you listen to different political leaders, they're trying to get you to follow them. That is all their purpose is. This is why they come and give you $300 or $500 or pay your light bill for you or give you a bag of cement. They're trying to get you to follow them. But true leadership is not about trying to make people follow you. If you have good leadership, you don't need to do none of these things for people to follow you. None of it. But it's interesting when you look at the flip side, brothers and sisters. There's always a manipulation side of things. Because even when people are trying to move away, you have the very people who are dictators of society telling you, what are you doing there? You understand? Because maybe you take a little bread from them. So now they feel like they are in charge of you. Hey, I give you some breadcrumbs the other day. You forget I have the power to take away that breadcrumbs from you. What are you doing there? When you're trying to elevate your own standing, they're asking you what you're doing there because of the economy that they've created that has fully destroyed Dominica. Not partially, you know. Fully is one of the reasons why I always tell people to leave. Because Dominica right now is not on the elevation standing in no way, shape or form. Tell me I lie. Let's bring it back.
You're trying to find people to follow you. True leadership is discovering a purpose.
True leadership is discovering a purpose. Now, can anybody tell me what the present purpose of the present government is? Can anybody tell me? I like that. I like it. Can anybody tell me what is the true purpose of the present government? What? Let me go in the chat box and see what all you're saying. Scary don't like no American business in Dominica. I think Scary believes that because if there's American business, well, there's Clear Harbor in Dominica. Is Clear Harbor an American business? I think Clear Harbor is an American business, though. You will leave Portsmouth, go to Roseau. They're telling you that need this paper, go post. Yeah, that's something I noticed. There's always an up and down kind of vibrations that tend to take place, even in Roseau. You're going for a simple license or you know, insurance. You have to be going up and down the place as if you say yo-yo. You say yo-yo or is a spring, you know? You just back and forth, back and... Anyways, guys, let me continue right there.
That you commit to pursue.
This is the question why I ask. What is the government's purpose in Dominica? What?
So leadership has more to do with you pursuing something than you pursuing people to follow.
Because I believe you have a purpose and you're fulfilling your purpose. I think this is applicable to everything in life. Because if you have a purpose and you're fulfilling your purpose, the individuals who will be drawn to your purpose, not necessarily to you, the individuals that will be drawn to your purpose will help you fulfill that purpose. This is one of the things I always tell people, be careful. Well, my grandparents, my forefathers used to tell me that, be careful of the company you keep. Because sometimes you can keep companies based on people being nice to you, and in turn that person just wants to get what they want to get. Nothing wrong with getting what you want to get, you know, brothers and sisters. But you must give and also be able to take. Or, I said it wrong, you must be able to take, true, but you must also be able to give. If you're looking at a balanced society, brothers and sisters, that is how it goes. It's a give and take. It must be balanced. Sometimes people want to take more than they can actually give. And if that is the case in your regard, you need to throw those friends away.
Follow you. True leaders, therefore, do not seek followers. Leadership is not about manipulation.
It's not about manipulation, brothers and sisters. What is happening in Dominica today? Not manipulation from the very leaders.
It's about inspiration.
Does your government inspire you? Does your pal reps inspire you? Does the people that you look as leaders, do they inspire you? I grew up around inspirational men, you know. Trust me, everybody I knew as elders, when it comes on to the circle, I must big up my parents for definitely doing that. The people that they surrounded themselves with were very much inspirational people. Even though today some of them I see in they, you know, but I grew up around them back in the day. Today, they want to be doing craziness for the government and those kind of things. But back in the day, they had, you know, sometimes money can change people. Interesting.
Inspiring people is the highest form of true leadership.
So not keeping them down. Inspiring people is the highest form of true leadership. Are you guys inspired by the leadership of Dominica? Is that the case? Let me know that in the comment box or the live chat below.
True leaders don't manipulate. They inspire people. Leadership is really not about people.
If leadership is not about people, and leadership is leading people, then what exactly is it about? Is it about purpose?
It's about
purpose. I was right. Well, hey, this is the first time I'm seeing this video, hey guys. I just knew Dr. Miles Monroe was talking about leadership, and yeah.
I will explain all of these in this session.
We will post part 5 when we...
Okay, so I just had to point this out right there, guys. Based on the things that he has said, have you seen this in Dominica or in the leadership of Dominica? Because we heard the Prime Minister talking about leadership is everything. We've heard him say this a number of times, but we cannot really quantify, we cannot really qualify that statement based off action, brothers and sisters. So that is another interesting thing right there. Now, talking about leadership, brothers and sisters, I think I'll touch on this some other time, but somebody mentioned to me I need to mention this. I was going to post this yesterday, so I decided to put it in this thing right there. Look at DOWASCO. Now, keep in mind, brothers and sisters, when you look at DOWASCO, you do not look at DOWASCO, the company. You should look at DOWASCO as the government, because the government is the one doing all this to the people, but it's just that it's under this guise of DOWASCO. Okay? So just keep that in mind. All right. Yes, brothers and sisters. So they have decided, and I never fully understood this right there. I never, not for the life of me. You are paying bills. Now, when you pay bills, it should be on the level of consumption, true or false? That you're actually utilizing it. If you don't utilize it, you don't pay bills. True? No? You pay in your water bill, brothers and sisters, whether you use water or not, you have to pay. You must pay a $15. Now, there's something called small businesses, brothers and sisters. Small business, hélas. And we talked about entrepreneurship a while ago. You think you as a small business, sometimes you're not even making a set of money. I look at the vendors. I was talking to some of them in Roseau some time back. And I was asking them, how is the sale doing? Some of them tell me they don't make any money. Sometimes they say if you get a little money here and there, that's good. On top of that, now keep in mind, these are small businesses, eh? They are also trying to charge them $400, I think. $400 on top of a $400 that they're paying for security. You ask me how I know that? I tell you I was talking to them. So they're paying $400 and they want to charge them $400, which apparently they don't seem to be paying because they don't make enough money for them to be even paying that. I remember during the carnival season, they wanted the vendors to be paying $1,000. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. They wanted the vendors to be paying $1,000 or $500 for them to be vending during carnival, as if... Brothers and sisters, everywhere I look at this, it looks like everything is just against the people of Dominica. It's just against the people of Dominica, because I'm trying to figure out what is the purpose. Hold on, sorry, hold on a while, guys. Let me get something rectified there. I just realized something is wrong somewhere. Okay. Okay, all right. Hold on, let me rectify that. Oh, you could not tell me the chat blurry. Oh, it's not easy now. Don't have to use it that way. Okay. Guys. Anyways, so small businesses, guys. Small businesses, as of June 1st, that was last month, they tell people to come and check to see if their businesses are large, medium, small. But for your businesses that not making much money in Dominica, entrepreneurship is dead. Because you then have to be paying $100, $175, or $800. Just like that. Just free money. Just free money for DOWASCO or for government, brothers and sisters. Water access charge. Now, it's interesting that you think that the quality of water will increase. However, it seems like water is decreasing, because apparently DOWASCO and the people in charge apparently not doing anything at all to see if how they can conserve the water. I would help to understand that if you build trees around the rivers, or try to start vines, you know, that can help to keep the water, to grow the water, you know, prevent water from evaporating if there are big trees around. Not as much evaporation, but, you know, evaporation will definitely take place, but not as much. Also, the trees, when rain fall, would definitely keep the water in the trees and help to build up the rivers. But that is not happening. And then there was what's the other one? Domle complaining about low water shortage. So maybe that's why they decide to add prices on the people. But that still doesn't make sense, because when it comes on to this thing, I think people should actually utilize, you know, the consumption and pay for the consumption. But when you just have to be $800 or $175 or $100 as a small business, that is not helping you in any way, shape, or form. Correct me if I'm wrong, brothers and sisters. Correct me. Anyways, they have the structure for large businesses, medium businesses, and small businesses. So small businesses obviously going to pay $100, medium $175, large $800. So large gas stations. What would be a large gas station? What would be a large gas station, brothers and sisters? Medical. The other day, the gas stations were complaining about, you know, the government taking too much money and they're not making much money, and then they're trying to increase things on the people. Not the other day, Rubies came back to Dominica. They had a complaint about them always making losses since 2006, I think, since they came. No, it's one thing when you try to help them and you trying to put, boy, it's like when you try to make a little stride, you then say, okay, you make a little stride, let us take it back. Just like when they increased salaries on you, what they did, they hike up prices for goods and services, brothers and sisters. Hike up everything in Dominica. So you have to keep that in mind. One way or the other, they'll try their best to take it back. So large gas stations have to be $800. Medical facilities, I'm thinking this probably includes private medical facilities. Or does that include just the hospital? I don't, or they have dentists in this one. So maybe that falls under the medium. Gaming companies, they just have a gaming company in Roseau. The virtual gaming thing. That means these people are considered large. Brothers and sisters, if it's not that, what is the gaming company that in Dominica? Any big gaming company in Dominica? I know they have the virtual one, but when it comes down to this, I don't think last week. Last week. Yes, man, hélas. Pharmacies. There's some pharmacies in Dominica that are doing well at all. They're surviving. I just think of one of them. Just meet the partner the other day. But Mr. X things here, I say, bro, things going to get worse. I hope you're ready. Well, he wasn't ready for that one, no? He wasn't ready for that one at all. Laboratories, bakeries. I thought bakeries was small businesses, eh? Which bakery that is large business in Dominica? Guys, which bakery that is large business in Dominica? We need to get serious about who we want to be as a nation. Yeah, Marvin White, you are right. Economically, we need to find our lane and focus 100% on being the gold standard for the Caribbean and wider world. Dominica can be the gold standard for the wider world. The problem here is it cannot at present because we have incompetent leaders. When you have incompetent leaders running things, what do you expect to happen? Absolutely nothing of elevation at all. Anyways, brothers and sisters, so we get in to see what they're talking about. Well, Ross University, Dominica State College. Dominica. So they have Dominica State College as one of the large businesses. Dominica State College is not under the government now. Is Dominica State College private or under the government? Apartments with 1 meter. Oh boy. House apartment buildings, gym, dentists, lawyers, So these people have to pay 175 for water on top of the consumption amount. Travel agencies, auto part loan. So what is this? This seems like this is going to be forcing the citizens to be paying more. Because if they have to be paying, that's going to be putting up prices on the citizens. You realize that, right? That just came to me. That's going to be putting up prices on the very citizens themselves. Because if you have to go to the lawyer and the lawyer tell you, okay, you have to give me $2,000, they might charge you $2,200 or $2,300. And knowing some of them lawyers, $2,500. Surveyors us use water, not. Brothers and sisters, what survey? Maybe it has surveying companies. But normally when it comes down to Dominica, I know surveyors are the individuals that just come out. Hey, you call them from your home, from their home, to come and survey land and what have you, and they give you paper and tell you, okay, this is your land and so forth. So how are surveyors going to be paying for which water? I'm guessing maybe you have to have some sort of brick and mortar company, surveying company. But then when I go back to the lawyers now, some of the lawyers are within certain businesses that are rented out by different people. They are in buildings that are rented out by different people. So the lawyers have to pay 175 and then the other people have to pay 175. The kind of conundrum inside. Laundromats, well, I understand laundromats. Laundromats utilize a lot of water. So I understand for them. But they still should be considered small businesses. Auto body repair shops. I go talk to somebody. I remember I went to an auto repair shop, brothers and sisters, and the businessman was telling me, even if they were to call elections, they would still vote. I want to meet that person again. I have to meet that person again and ask, what do you think now? When I say things getting worse, all you think is joke I'm making? Anyways, small businesses, agriculture. How do people in agriculture have to be paying for $100? Not outside they be. Well, then again, probably when they're making utilizing the water for their farms. Barbers, boutiques, cosmetics, bread depot, car wash. You guys get that right there. Then they have some sort of reconnection fee. The minimum water connection fee is $450 to $850 for sewage connection, which must be paid prior to connection. There will be no refunds. Customers are liable to pay difference if connection exceeds $450 or $850 respectively. This connection, you have a 30-day. Let me see. All accounts in arrears 30 days and over will be disconnected for non-payment. Guys, does this... I asked a question a while ago. I'm asking, how has the government elevated the standing of the people? What has the government put in place to elevate the standing of the people? All I'm seeing here is where the government is trying to take funds from the people. And keep in mind, on top of the $64,000 that the government is already receiving every month, to rent an accommodation that is apparently alleged to be freely given based off some sort of contractual arrangement as a result of the company receiving gigs, so to speak, receiving the contracts to do biddings within the country. So, for example, if you are constantly going after a company, the company decides, okay, you have treated me well, I want to treat you well, so let me just build a house for you. Could be. I don't know. But it could be, brothers and sisters. Company decide, let me build a house for you. You can walk inside. Thank you for giving us the business. You have made us raise millions upon millions of dollars. Thank you, even billions of dollars you have made us raise. So let me just treat you nice. Let me build a nice house for you. And then you can stay inside. And then for some reason, maybe people don't know what's going on. You know, the government decide, okay, we are going to move into that house, but we are paying rent. You know, we are paying rent of sorts for that house and receiving $64,000. I don't know. I'm just saying. Okay, I don't know. Okay. Well, What is the elevation of the people, brothers and sisters? Look at another elevation right there. Marigot Hospital area.
Hospital junction to Hospital Road in Marigot. What your child just fall down in.
So a child just fall down in this thing right there. Didn't these people see that there's a space inside there for them to put an extra block? It looks like this has been cemented. Correct me if I'm wrong, brothers and sisters. What we are looking at, it seems like this has been cemented into the ground, and they knew that there was a space there. Whoever did the calculations for this thing did not do it right. The reason why I'm saying it's cemented there, because you can clearly see on the side that there's debris, dirt that have gathered into this thing. So this is not just something that they put now. This has been there for a minute. Grass is growing in the crevices of these things, and it seems like there has been a big space that has been there for a minute. And apparently you're hearing that some child fell into this thing. They did a better job here.
The child just fell into that hole. Marigot Hospital Road, the junction.
So a child fell into this thing. Hopefully the child did not break their foot, but apparently the hospital is right there. So I'm guessing they think, well, if you break your foot, the hospital right there for you, eh? You know, the question here is, does the hospital have the adequate resources to treat that? I don't know. This is Marigot Hospital, the new hospital, just like the new hospital they have in Roseau that apparently missing a lot of things. You know, we have hospital, but sometimes I don't know. I just, I don't know. I don't know. Something is definitely wrong, man. Something is definitely wrong right there, guys. I don't know. I don't know. If the main hospital have stuff, much less for Marigot Hospital. But hey, anyways, guys, we are back to what we wanted to talk about today. Let me see how much time I have remaining, guys. Okay, I'll try my best to stay below an hour and 30 minutes right there. So we are back on this, guys, and a number of persons have been saying, Mr. Leaks, you know, this is what the law is saying, and other persons have been saying to me, well, Mr. Leaks, well, we are not sure of the interpretation of the law, you know, and people have been saying, well, Mr. Leaks, if that is true, why did the government say this? Why did the president say this? Why? All right. No, it's interesting. This is one of the reasons why I had to bring Jesma Paul in here for us to discuss this kind of thing right there, based off her point of view on the subject matter. Like I indicated before, maybe things will be better next week, and she will come through and we can get a word from her in that regard right there. But there's always the section 66. By the way, guys, you can just type it in Dominica Constitution in Google, and you can get this thing right there. It's like the first page, it's like the first link, the second link, the third link, the fourth link. They have a number of them right there, but they all lead to this very thing right there. Click the first one, because this is the first one that we have right there. And of course, the indication of section 66.2. Hold on, let me see what individuals are saying there. Nothing at all. Yeah, the government has been doing absolutely nothing at all to elevate the standing of the people. But we are here for the leader of the opposition in that regard right there. Section 66.1. And there's a number of interesting things that I want to point out. We also have Dominica News Online that made important statements right there. But we'll get back to this. But of course, I must read from the very beginning. Of course, this concerns leader of the opposition right there. 1978, this rule was pretty much made, as this constitutional law was made right there. There shall be a leader of opposition who shall be appointed by the president. They didn't say if, they say there shall be a leader of the opposition who shall be appointed by the president, not by Skerrit, not by, not by Lennox Linton, not by Thompson Fountain, not by Jesma, not by Anthony, but by the president. They didn't say there may be, but there shall be a leader of the opposition who shall be appointed by the president. Okay, so that is established. Right now, there's no leader of opposition, which means that something is wrong in that regard right there. But of course, if there is the understanding of there shall be a leader of the opposition, then we must understand the criterias. Of course, people have been indicating section 66.2 All right. Now, section 66(2) is saying whenever there is occasion for the appointment of the leader of the opposition, the president shall appoint the elected member. So you must be an elected member. Let me just continue reading right there. The elected member of the House who appears to him most likely to command the support of the majority of the elected members of the House who do not support the government. The reason why I have to read this is because of this section right there, who do not support the government. So there must be the appointment by the president, an elected member. Therefore, that person must be elected. To be an elected member, you must be what? Voted in by the people. Okay, all right. Now, if that is not the case, now you remember the elected member is voted in by the other elected members. This is why for first instance, you have Jesma and you have Anthony, right? In the beginning, both Jesma and Anthony agreed that Jesma would take the position for 18 months. They had a contract because obviously they're running independent. They don't want to just say, okay, you run thing for the whole 5 years or whatever it is, right? Jesma, Paul, and Anthony agreed that, you know, Jesma should be the leader of the opposition. So they both agreed. Therefore, there would be no other need to go to the or factor here. Okay? There would be no other need. Now, after the 18 months, Jesma did the right thing. She resigned. I personally do not think that she should have resigned. I think she should have stayed and then they voted. When they voted, then everybody comes in. If there's a discrepancy between the elected members, then the senators definitely come in. And there's a reason for the senators. We'll keep that in mind in the same section 66(2). All right. Anyways, brothers and sisters, they say if that is not the case, there's a huge or there. And the reason why there's a if, I stated that if because you've seen the if right after this. If no elected member of the House appears to him to command such support, they're talking about them electing the leader of the opposition, the elected members within themselves electing the opposition leader. If no elected member of the House appears to him, in other words, they are in disagreement to him to command such support, the elected member of the House. Now, let me just read this again. I was here and I was outside. Anyways, if no elected member of the House appears to him to command the support or such support, meaning there's a disagreement within the elected members, the elected member of the House who appears to him to command the support of the largest single group of members of the House who do not support the government. Now keep in mind, the first part is talking about being elected by the elected members. Now if the elected members cannot say who's supposed to be the opposition leader, the next step would be to include everybody who is the largest within the largest single group of members of the House, not elected members. Because when I looked at the letter, let me see if I can find it right there, guys. Let me see if I can find that letter for you guys of the president's. So I can find it for you guys. I'm looking for it. Position office of the president. Okay, here it is. I found it. The good thing I didn't delete it. Now, guys, keep in mind. Look at this. So the president made a mistake. The opposition. Okay, so we're in this part right there, brothers and sisters. So this is the president's, well, the secretary, whoever wrote the president letter for them. I am to advise further that the former leader of the opposition, having resigned from that office, there is no elected member of the House who appears to Her Excellency most likely to command the support of the majority of the elected members of the House. They are in disagreement. So she's right there so far. Who do not support the government, nor is there any elected member of the House. See what she's saying? Nor is there any elected member of the House who appears to Her Excellency to command the support of the largest single group of elected members of the House who do not support the government. This is not what the second section is saying. We will go back to this. It is not talking about the largest. Look at that, brothers and sisters. Who appears to him to command the support of the largest single group of members of the House. She put largest group of elected members. Look at there. Largest group of elected members. This is where she foopered. That word should not be there because it's not there in the Constitution. Look at there. Largest single group of members of the House, which would include the senators. Now you might say, but where is senators coming in? Okay, we have the provision at the bottom of section number 2, brothers and sisters, provided that if a member of the House was elected at the general election in which he stood as a supporter of the political party, and the majority members of the House elected at the time, whether as representatives or senators. So that definitely includes the senators. So how on earth did the president come to the understanding? Because she's pretty much just reiterating the same thing over and over. That is what this simply means. So therefore, if they wrote, and I have the signatures there, let me see if I can find it for you guys. They have all the signatures and what have you there, brothers and sisters. The senators, including them, including those that were brought in by Anthony, wanted Jess Paul to retain that title. Now it's very interesting when you look at this. Nothing at all. But scary telling the president what to do, it seems. Yes. Whoever is advising the president, apparently the president did not read this stuff. And this is not far-fetched to say because I've seen this in the United States. Because they have challenged certain elected members in the United States on the things that they have signed. And they are asking them, what did they sign? Did they read it? They cannot tell you. I don't know if that was back in the day. I don't know for now. But back in the day, there were a number of persons who were most likely paid to just push things forward. Now I'm trying to figure out, why is this thing happening? Now it has been brought to my attention that there's, I think, House of Assembly or whatever, Parliament is about to be called soon. And I think it's within that time they're trying to push this whole electoral reform business. It could be that the Prime Minister and the President are just buying time. Which is why I don't understand why a lawyer wasn't brought in for them to be taking that case seriously. That case should be brought forth immediately. But it seems like they're trying to buy time. Just like the whole injection thing, It's not like they didn't know that the whole thing was going to blow up on them, Remember the Rona? It's not that they didn't know it was going to blow up. They were trying to buy time to get people to take as much of the injection as possible by making it difficult for people. You will lose your job. You will not be able to do this. You will not be able to travel. You will not be able to do a number of things. So they knew it was going to blow up, but they tried their best to push it as long as possible so that more people, given the uncomfortability of the situation, would take the injection. That was the whole point. It seems like that is the case right there. They're trying to bypass and kill time so they can push their agendas forward. Now, I could be wrong in that regard, but it seems like a number of persons have also shared that sentiment as well. No, this thing, I'll read it in the Dominica News Online thing, because they also have a part of that right there. But it's important to look at the president's letter. She put elected members of the House. No, that cannot be. It should be the largest single group of members of the House who do not support the government. That will include the senators. And this, of course, was the signatures that they did to say that they're in support of Jesma Paul retaining leader of the opposition. Now, another thing I would have talked to Jesma Paul about is the very Anthony individual who apparently seems to have dropped the floor. The question here is, did he drop the floor already? Because from my understanding, it could be that Anthony jumped the floor, was a part of another political party, and was planning to bring his people into the house. Now, I think when Jesma Paul was leader of the opposition, she gave Anthony the ability for him to choose his two, and she chose her two, you know, being, you know, democratic, you know, in that regard. Well, truly democratic, not the democratic thing we have today. But, you know, pushing that everybody, you know, you get your people, I get my two people, because with 4 people we can bring in, so we bring in. But it seems like Anthony, it'll be interesting if I could get Anthony to come here too. It'll be interesting. But it seems like he wants to bring his own people in, and that would include the people of his new party. So it's very, very interesting what is going on right now. That self, I cannot really say much on that, but that's what I know right there. Anyways, this is Skerrit and Lennox talking about the situation right there.
Constitution provides for there to be an opposition leader, and it says there shall be an opposition leader, yes.
That's what I just said.
But it is not a crisis.
It is now clear.
It's not a crisis. There shall be a leader of the opposition. They have named the leader of the opposition based on the Constitution of Dominica, the laws of Dominica, and Skerrit is then advising the people that it's not a crisis. all you good in that place there. All you good to eat. But Skerrit telling the person what to do, yeah. What about the Carib Reserve? They want, what is that? They want electoral reform. Well, I don't know about the Carib Reserve now, but if they want electoral reform, they should get electoral reform. Everybody should get electoral reform.
President Sylvani Burton to appoint a leader of the opposition with the false justification that there is no elected member of the House of Assembly who qualifies to be elected is an act of willful disobedience to the constitutional Commonwealth of Dominica.
How you the president and you willfully disobeying the very constitution that you're supposed to be guided by? I don't understand. Maybe it's not she that wrote it. Maybe they decide, okay, let's see if we can just put this in. Maybe it's not she that wrote it, but this argument has been brought forth constantly. Now, people are actually looking at the law. The laws here will realize there's a all there. So it cannot be the same thing of elected members. If the elected members disagree, then the largest body of members of the House, and of course, you saw the part where it talks about the representatives or senators. So that shows who are the members of the House who oppose the government. Remember, the government also has his senators too, you know. But anyways, let's continue right there.
Directed by Roosevelt Skerrit. Section 66(1) of the Constitution says there shall be a leader of the opposition who shall be appointed by the president.
In Dominica, you do have 2 members on the opposition. The reality is, none is supporting the other this time. And the question is, who does the president appoint?
Section 66(2) provides,
but that's scary, does freak me out, you know, boy.
Wherever there is occasion for the appointment of a leader of the opposition, the president shall appoint the elected member of the House who appears to him most likely to command the support of a majority of the elected members of the House who do not support the government.
Or,
if no elected member of the House appears to him to command such support, the elected member of the House who appears to him to command the support of the largest single group of members of the House who do not support the government. Section 30 of the Constitution provides for 9 senators appointed by the president to be members of the House of Assembly. 9 senators appointed by the president, not elected, to be members of the House. Where the Constitution restricts or prohibits the involvement of senators in the business of the House, the provisions are clear. Senators cannot vote on motions of no confidence in the government. Senators cannot vote on changes to the Constitution. But senators can vote in the election of a president. Senators can vote in the removal of a president. Senators can vote in the election of a Speaker of the House. Senators vote to pass laws. Senators can vote to establish periods of public emergency. Senators can vote to revoke proclamations of public emergency by the president. the provisions.
So there's definitely a large involvement of senators in parliament. They gave 5, we just read it there. They gave 5 to the government. 5 shall be appointed by the president acting in accordance with the advice of the prime minister, and 4 shall be appointed by the president acting in accordance with the advice of the leader of the opposition. This is one of the reasons why I believe the president, or from my understanding, it has been indicated to me that the president is saying, because there's no leader of the opposition, there's no more senators. That's probably why she took this and decided to do this. But it's the largest body of members of the House. Are the senators members of the House? Yes. If they are not members of the House, why haven't they received letters stating that they are no longer members or senators of the House? If that be the case, therefore they can vote. And because they can vote, they have been appointed by the president. The 4 individuals have been appointed by the president. Therefore, they can vote for the leader of the opposition. They wrote the letter. Look the letter right there. And according to the provision of Section 66 of the Constitution, we, the undersigned members of the House, who do not support the government, hereby confirm that elected member, Honorable Jesma Paul Victor, commands our support to be appointed leader of the opposition of the House, leader of the opposition by the president. All signed, Delbert, Laurie, Shalikia, Lauren, and Jesma. So, since this was June 20th, we are in July 14th. Why is there still a problem in that regard?
It's always clear. The distinction between members and elected members are always clear in the provisions of the Constitution. President Burton has determined that what she terms unelected senators have no part to play in the appointment of the leader of the opposition, and the president is therefore not required to involve them in any way, shape, or form.
Boy, that is something else, boy. Guys, what trouble we in Dominica did, boy.
President Burton believes that senators are not members of the House within the meaning of Section 66(2). So, in violation of the Constitution, she has removed the senators from participation in the appointment of a leader of the opposition in order to decide, for and on behalf of Roosevelt Skerrit, that there will be no leader of the opposition.
But Section 66(1) says that there shall be. It's not maybe, guys. It's not mistake we making and say maybe, This is what this Section 66(1) is saying. There shall be a leader of the opposition. 66, where is it? Yeah. There shall be a leader of the opposition who shall be appointed by the president. There was a discrepancy of the elected members. Therefore, Section 66(2) Part 2 is indicating that the senators have a right to vote. The very letter that she wrote right there is indicating about elected members of the House. She's literally doing it twice. She said the first part and then she's saying the second part. That means the same thing. But that's not what is in the Constitution.
The Constitution provides an either-or arrangement for the appointment of a leader of the opposition, and the president has allowed herself to be directed to make the either and the or one and the same thing. There is absolutely no difference with commanding the support of a majority of the elected members of the House who do not support the government and commanding the support of the single largest group of elected members who do not support the government. The president has no authority under the Constitution.
But that is what guides the president. The Constitution. Or the president can decide they're listening to Prime Minister now. This is why even the last president, I was saying the president of Dominica is not the president of Dominica, That's Skerrit's president. It seems Skerrit has another president that is for his bidding because the Constitution is clear. It is very clear. We don't need interpretation. It's very clear. How are you going to misinterpret that? Boy.
To remove the alternative provided at Section 66(2) in the event that no elected member appears to command the support of the majority of the elected members who do not support the government. With this alternative, the president is mandated to appoint as leader of the opposition the elected member of the House
who appears to be the largest support.
appears to her to command the support of the largest single group of members, not elected members, members of the House who do not support the government.
Same thing Lennox was saying was when I did the first video, without anybody involvement, brothers and sisters, when they started saying this thing. I think I was one of the first set of people to put out this information saying, guys, there's a huge difference between the first part of section 66.2 and the second part. They're talking about the elected members voting for the elected member. If there's a discrepancy, then the elected members must be voted upon by the largest members of the House, largest group of members of the House who do not support the government. Always. So this information has been out there for quite some time now, and the minute the president has not rectified that situation. They're waiting for people to go to court to rectify that.
This provision allows for participation by opposition senators appointed by the president as members of the House in the process of appointing a leader of the opposition.
That's what section 66.2 says. At the bottom of it, the provision. Sometimes, I don't know.
You know, when I hear Mr. Linton, for example, reading from the Constitution and trying to explain what the Constitution says, if you do not know, I don't know who in Dominica, which...
What you mean, if he doesn't know? What's carrot mean? This is why this has to be willful, brothers and sisters. This has to be willful. I think they knew what he was saying, but they decided to make it look like it's a mistake they make, but still trying to justify the mistake that they're making. How Skerrit can say if he doesn't know when it is clearly written? I mean, if it was written in Braille, you'll be able to see that. You'll be able to see it. Blind people can see if it was written in Braille. It's very clear.
Lawyer in Dominica could have advised the member for Salisbury that senators could write to the president.
The law telling you that. It never said anything about it writing to letters, but I mean, obviously, if you're communicating to the president, just like how Jesma decided to resign, now a number of persons were saying, talking about, well, she resigned. She resigned based on the agreement that they had. But then there was a discrepancy between them based off, I think, Anthony joining with some other team. And then the largest member of the House who do not support the government decided, hey, we want Jesma to come back into president as leader of the opposition. Anthony, that screwed up things for himself, you know. Well, from what I'm seeing, it would be nice for him to clarify that.
Indicating who they support as leader of the opposition.
Their support must be considered by the president in determining which elected member of the House commands the support of the single largest group of members
of the House.
Members of the House who do not support.
Guys, how is this an issue? How is that an issue? What president that? She working for, not for the state. That's why people need to know who they're electing, because when you have the president that needs to be upholding the Constitution, it's very clear. And that is not being done. Therefore, that president seems to be on another agenda. It is very clear inside there. There's no mistake. Otto 718, Roosevelt Douglas put the Labour Party into the majority, and it's unfortunate to see where the party is right now. Well, Roosevelt's currency is a freedomite. He said that on camera a number of times. So I guess it's a freedomite that running the Labour Party. That's probably why they doesn't have proper elections within the party. True or false? Jerry Nelson, thumbs up the video, people. Yeah, thumbs up. Yes, guys, please thumbs up the video. I would appreciate that right there. I'm gonna do some wrapping up very soon, but you guys get the gist of this thing. Let's continue.
The government. And then there is this arrant nonsense about a 1979 precedent.
You had a situation in 1979 when the then President General Armour advised the Speaker that he was unable to appoint a leader of the opposition when Eugenia Charles indicated to the President that she's unable to get the support of persons to support as leader of the opposition. Now, that was a deliberate political ploy by Eugenia Charles, you know.
What stupid is saying then? Bro, okay, let's say that is true. But the Constitution is there. It is clearly written. How scared? I don't understand it. People have a problem with understanding, maybe. But, I mean, how else can you flip the or? How else, brothers and sisters? There's a big or there. How else can you flip the or?
A political ploy indeed. In order to give legitimacy to the government installed at the charge of the Coolwash Brigade in 1979, Eugenia Charles, Jenna Armour, and others had colluded at the time for Armour to be unconstitutionally proclaimed the president. He then unconstitutionally appointed Oliver Serafin to replace Patrick John as Prime Minister, and Eugenia Charles wiggled her way out of the position of leader of the opposition, which she no longer wanted, claiming she did not have support. There is absolutely no relationship or parallel between 1979
None at
and
all.
2024.
None at all. So he trying to use an example for giving... It's kind of like when Drone earlier was talking about the drone, brothers and sisters. And she's the education minister trying to educate the masses about the drones. And talking about drones can go thousands of miles below sea level. A flying drone can go thousands of miles below sea level, brothers and sisters. Sunshine only going about 1.5 miles below sea level. But Drone earlier know that drones can go thousands of miles below sea level.
Accordingly, in the public
You have a set of foolish people, just a set of foolish, but then again, Joe Biden is president of the United States.
interest of good parliamentary governance, Her Excellency, having willfully violated the Constitution and surrendered her deliberate judgment to the dictates of Roosevelt's spirit, needs to reverse herself and appoint a leader of the opposition in accordance with the clear, unambiguous provisions of Section 66 of the Constitution.
Facts. Anyways, guys, we continue right there. So you see the big difference. I had to highlight it for some of you guys because I know some of you guys have a problem. The elected members of the House who do not support the government, the elected members, that's who vote for the leader of the opposition. If there's a discrepancy, or you have the largest single group of members, not largest group of of elected members, which according to her letter, she has elected members of the House, largest single group of elected members of the House. She should know that there's a mistake and rectify this already. Why is it taking so long? Because it seems like this is willful, brothers and sisters. This is definitely willful right there. Let me see what you guys are saying. Thursday Light, she was handpicked for a reason. Yeah, she was obviously handpicked for to do the bidding of the government, just like Pierre Charles. Imagine Pierre Charles was the one who stood for Dominicans. Gassa, when human beings can change. I just mentioned it a while ago. I grew up with people who were inspired, who people wanted to do better for themselves. I grew up with these kind of people. Today, I'm seeing these people. Some of them meet me and say, as give government blows, all kind of thing. But they meet me. I say, bro, it's not like that. I remember you as a little boy. You were not like this. Seems like money can change people. Charles Savary don't change now. A number of the lawyer people don't change now. How they were back in the day. While at this inadvertently destroying the very economy and the socio-economical aspect of Dominica. Really? Anyways, guys, we are into this thing right there. Obviously, the Constitution spoke about some additional things. So we're going to read it on the Dominica News Online right there. It is imagined that there are many legal professionals and luminaries with excellent command of the English language to guide us to the plain English language meaning of subsection 2 of section 66. Subject to this guidance, it appears that the plain language of this provision does not exclude anyone, senator or elected member, or even the attorney general, who is neither as a being of a possible part of the largest single group of members of the House who do not support the government. How the legal advisor could have construed And how the, no guys, if you want to read this, it's Thursday, July 11th. Commentary, obviously, by Anthony E. L. Liebla, it seems. Right there. Anyways, where was I? Okay, we get into it. How the legal advisor could have construed and how the office of the president could have accepted such advice. Maybe she didn't read it at all. That the provision is saying that the senators are not part of the members of the House is ridiculous, and unthinkable, brothers and sisters. In any walk of life where such unprofessional advice comes to the public, such advisor would, in my humble dignity, need to forthwith resign. I agree that right there. But if this was not enough to convince the legal advisor of the president that he was, that's why I tell you guys, the president probably didn't read this, Sylvani Burton probably didn't read this at all. Anyways, but if this was not enough to convince the legal advisor of the president that he was misreading the Constitution and therefore misleading the president, so it did somebody, that legal advisor, that misread the Constitution for, maybe the person probably read elected member twice in their mind, even though it wasn't there the second time. Anyways, they misconstrued it, brothers and sisters, and therefore misleading the president. The provision of subsection 4 and 5 of section 66 amplifies that even much further. This is why I had to go there, right there. Pursuant of section 4, subsection 4 of 66, it appears the opposition leader cannot cease to hold office except as provided by this subsection. The office of leader of the opposition shall become vacant, A, if he ceases to be a member of the House, otherwise than by reason of dissolution of Parliament. That's most likely, after Parliament has been dissolved. Not true. During the times of elections, they tend to do this. Anyways, that apparently they did not worry about. Anyways, that was A. B. If, when the House first meets after dissolution of Parliament, he is not then a member of the House. That doesn't apply to Jesma or to anybody in that regard. So, C, if under the provision of section 35(4) of this Constitution, he is required to cease to perform his functions. He is required to cease to perform his functions as a member of the House. That's not right English. Anyways, he's required to cease in performing his functions as member of the House. Or D, if he is removed from office by the president under the subsection, by the provision of subsection 5 of this section. 2, subsection 5 provides, if it appears to the president that the leader of the opposition is no longer able to command the support of a majority of the elected members of the House who do not support the government, or if no elected member of the House appears to him, or that seems like that is section 2. Anyways, I guess it's just reiterating what is being indicated right there. Or if no elected member of the House appears to him or her to be able to command such support, the support of the largest single group of members of the House who do not support the government, he or she shall remove the leader of the opposition from office. It is very clear that, the senators want Jesma Paul to continue being leader of the opposition. Okay? So, that is, come on. You guys can definitely check this out right there. Look at the full thing and see what's up. But I think it's very clear what is going on. I think it's very clear. To me, it's very clear. I don't know about you guys. But what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts? She was handpicked for, yeah, I read that. True, but Roosevelt Douglas was anti-colonial rule, and he even took jail for the improvement of his country. That's not why he took jail. Auto 718, that's definitely not why he took jail. You need to go and listen to the podcast of me and Cabral Douglas. I was speaking to his son in that regard, on that subject matter. You should definitely tune into that right there. I would advise that you check out the previous podcast on that matter. Anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna end it right there. I went over my time by a long time. Let me see. Yeah, I'm over my time. I say if I'm doing it by own, I should be an hour or at least an hour and 15 minutes. And then when I do the podcast with other individuals, it'll be like an hour and 30 minutes. But we're going on an hour and 45 minutes, brothers and sisters. So I think we're going to end it right there. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts? Now, the question I must ask, guys, is how do you rectify that situation when the president is wrong? Who is holding the president accountable? I always ask this question. Who is holding the police accountable? It should be the people. Who is holding the prime minister accountable? It should be opposition. The opposition then is responsible for letting the people know what's up right there. That is the rule of the opposition. Just in case if you don't know what the opposition rule is or role is. Okay? That is the opposition rule. So, who is holding the president accountable? When they are making decisions that is not in accordance to the Constitution of Dominica. I mean, this thing has been out for quite some time. When was the letter written? June 20th, 2024. It is almost 30 days now, brothers and sisters. In 6 days, it will be 30 days or 31 days. So why hasn't this been rectified? Taz Delight, big up yourself one time. I do appreciate you guys for definitely being here, no doubt about it. 027, I know what happened in Canada with Roosevelt Douglas, Mr. Leaks, and I know the Douglas family personally. That's nice, but if you know them personally, then you would not say what you just said a while ago. Because Roosevelt Douglas didn't go to jail for trying to improve his country. That's not why he went to jail. He was fighting on behalf of what took place in Canada at that time. And the different discrepancies within the school and what have you. I even think Mr. Gabriel Christian did a full scope on that. I think he did a full scope of that, but I remember listening. I think he sent me some videos and I was listening to what was going on in the documentary. There's some sort of documentary. So if Mr. Gabriel Christian is listening, would you please put the links in the comment box below? I would appreciate that so others can also see that documentary right there. Mr. Gabriel Christian was one of the individuals who was very close to Mr. Roosevelt Douglas, Rosie Douglas, and I know for a fact that if Rosie Douglas were to come alive today, he would be crying bitter tears to see what has happened to Dominica under the very DLP, Dominica Labour Party, that of which he was leader of. So that self is another dilemma. Okay. Anyways, guys, what are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Don't forget to click the like button. I would appreciate that. Click the thumbs up button, guys. Helping this here algorithm to push these videos further and further in that regard. And of course, without further ado, brothers and sisters, thanks so much for tuning in with your boy. Remember, guys, be real. Be positive.